Hi everyone and welcome to my channel and to my little jungle. Before everything, I wanted to tell you that my channel hit 200 subscribers and I'm really glad about it. And I wanted to thank you so much for subscribing and for being a part of it, of my YouTube journey so early on. So really, thank you. Today I'm going to talk about this project, the coffee table that I made. And it's a project I wanted to make since a long time ago. And I'm really glad that I finally did it. So let me show you how I did it. So you may remember from previous videos that I actually didn't have a coffee table. I only was using some colored tiles instead, which was nice, but then I wanted to change that and build my own planted coffee table. The initial idea for this project, I got it from an Instagrammer called James Wong, and I think you should check his Instagram profile because he posts really nice pictures. I thought the idea was pretty cool because you would use a space that you normally wouldn't think of, that you would use for plants, obviously. And this would also be some kind of a space-saving hack for my small apartment because, as you know, I don't have a lot of space in my apartment. So yeah, I decided to give it a try and make my own coffee table using recycled materials, and this project wouldn't cost almost anything. So in fact, in the end, it cost me like 10 euros. First, I wanted to use a wooden crate that I found in the market, and I thought it would work perfectly for this project. And in fact, for that crate, I had bought this glass in IKEA. It cost me about 5 euros. And then, unexpectedly, I found this, actually the wooden drawer that I used in the end on the street. And the wooden drawer fit perfectly with the glass, and I thought it was even better than the wooden crate, so I decided to use this instead. So both the drawer and the glass measure about 56 by 36 centimeters, and they fit very well. The drawer came with initial divider in the middle, which I had to break, and that was pretty satisfying to do, and it came out pretty easily. And then I wanted to avoid further struggle, so I decided to first put the wheels before anything else. And the wheels, I bought them for about 5 euros as well, and that's practically all I spent for this project. It's about 10 euros everything in total. The wheels, I had to screw them with the little screws that are about 1 centimeter long. And since I don't have a drill, I had to sort of push screw them with a screwdriver by hand, but it worked pretty well because the wood of the drawer was not that hard. It's pretty soft. And on further thought, now that the project is done, I think that maybe it would have been better if I bought like taller wheels because it would have raised the table a little bit more, but I think it's still fine. It looks pretty decent as well. So I wasn't going to plant the plants directly in the wooden container, of course, so I had to think of a way like what to use instead, like what can I put inside the wooden box that would contain the plants. And then I thought that in the fish markets, actually they have these styrofoam boxes. And so I went there and I was looking for it. And I looked and it was a bit complicated to find one that would fit perfectly with this box. But in the end, I managed to find one that fits pretty decently. The only problem with this box was that it had holes on the side. So I had to think of a way how to fill up the holes without damaging the box. And I thought that I have some leftover silicone glue that is normally used in the sanitary facilities, like in the toilet or in the kitchen. And I tried and I played around with it a little bit. No. So plan A was that it would work and that I wouldn't have to use plastic in this project at all. But it didn't. It failed. I tried to test it with water in my shower and it was dripping, so it didn't work. And in the end, I had to use plan B, which was to use like thick garbage bags to layer it inside the styrofoam box. Like this, it would be waterproof. Anyway, before I used the garbage bags, I wanted to fit the styrofoam box inside the drawer first. And I wanted to fill up the holes that were around the lock with another piece of styrofoam. And I could have taken it out, the lock, but I didn't want to because I think it actually looks pretty nice and vintage with a little round detail here. And then to avoid having all this white edge around from the styrofoam box, I decided to cut it up diagonally, so the rim would be a lot thinner in the end result, like you would see a lot less of the box instead. And I melted the surface a bit with a lighter to even it out. Yeah, it would have been much better if I didn't do all of this project on top of my carpet, but then I had to clean it very thoroughly, so yeah. Next thing, I wanted to paint it with a similar color as the box to make it fit a bit better, and it kind of worked. I used acrylic colors. Yeah, I'm a mess. Don't laugh. Then, since in the end result I wanted to have the glass a bit raised, I decided to use some wine corks on the edges so that it would raise the glass and give the plants room to breathe and to grow in height a little bit as well. And the corks, I fitted them with the help of 2 thin nails, which I first hammered on the drawer, and then I hammered the corks on top of them. I put the 4 suction cups on the edges of the glass first to mark where I should nail them on the wine corks, because I was afraid if I nailed them directly then they would stick outside of the glass and wouldn't keep it well in place. And in fact, I'm not so happy that they don't fit exactly in the center of the corks, which makes them a little less stable, but it seems to work fine nonetheless. I hammered a pin needle with a small head through the center of the suction cups and then hammered it onto the cork, and it worked. And now I had to fit the plastic bag. I used the thickest one I could find to make sure it would hold for a long time, and I used the double layer. I cut a piece a bit bigger than the box, and then I used the double-sided tape all around the inside to keep the plastic in place. And then I cut it nicely around the edges so it wouldn't be very visible when I put the soil inside. Finally, the planting part. I used some expanded clay balls called leca to fill up the bottom, so I would allow some drainage space. It's where the water would go after I water the plants. And then I covered it with tulle. It's a piece of curtain that was too long, so I sort of chopped it up. But you can use any kind of mesh with small holes that would prevent the hole and the leca to mix, because like this there would be no water going to the soil and soaking it up. Then the soil on top. I just used the normal indoor plant soil mix. Probably I should have added plenty of perlite as well, but let's see how it goes like this. Now the landscaping. I was using some old moss that I rehydrated. I kept this from some old project in the past, but I couldn't think of anything better that I could use it for. It's my first time using moss as well, so let's hope for the best. And I added some perlite to add an interesting contrast between the brown of the soil and green of the plants, which over time, if I keep it humid, will also get a bit green and look a little bit aged. And then I potted the plants. I used only little plants, baby plants, that I propagated myself and that trail rather than grow up in height, because this would mean that they would stay low and wouldn't hit the glass too much. All the peperomias are grown from leaves. I have peperomia prostrata, or string of turtles, which I planted in this corner because I think it would look nice once it starts growing and filling up the space like a little stream of green. Here I have a little peperomia glauca, which has almost bluish and very round leaves, which I featured in another video where I talk about plants with silvery blue foliage. And it also has a creeping habit, and I pinned it down with some bent wire so it would root from different nodes too, and it would creep out easily and nicely. I used another 2 saxifragas, a normal stolonifera and a stolonifera tricolor, which should also add a nice touch of color. They are also propagated shoots from my bigger mother plants. These ones here are Peperomia Napoli Nights, I think, and another one which I have no idea what it's called, but its leaves have a similar shape to the Napoli Nights, but they're almost black when they mature. I have another video about the satisfaction of Peperomia propagation, which you can check out here. I also wanted to add some color in here, so I added this little Phytonia. I don't know the exact species because I got it in a trade, but it's little pink and it's cute and it stands out. I didn't want to put too much or too big plants right now because this is just the beginning of one adventure. This project is not the definitive state in which it's going to stay forever, because these are living beings and they're going to develop over time. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you will know that like my philosophy is that I want to see the potential in the things of how they are going to become in the future, not the way they look right now. So yeah, I'm aware that it looks a little bit empty right now, but I want to leave the space and I'm excited to see what it's going to turn into over time and how they're going to develop and fill up the space. So this was my project and I really enjoyed making it, and I hope to make many other interesting ones in the future and post videos about them. If you'd like that, you can subscribe to my channel and you can press the like button if you like this video and let me know in the comments below. If you want to connect with me and see updates on my plants and my projects, such as this one, like I usually post stories in my Instagram account, so you can check that out. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching and visiting my channel, and see you soon. Bye! Now, I wanna... No. I obviously don't know what I need to say. Because like this, they're going... No, it's not divisor, it's divider, and let's start again.